How's everybody doing? This is video 12 of my 98 Grand Cherokee 4.0 rebuild. Change of plans on this. I know I said I wasn't going to do any cylinder head work on this. Turns out I am going to do a little bit. Because I had my gasket right here on this intake and exhaust manifold gasket, and it was stuck on there, so I had to grind at it. And my valves are still in. So down in the ports, obviously, all the dust went. And you can sit there and try to plug it off as best as you want, but in reality, it's dust still going to get down in there. And I just had this redone last year, and the last thing I want to do is screw up where my valve seats are and my valves. So I decided to pop the valves out using, I made up my own tool to pop the springs. Then I got the valves out, and now I'm going to go through the finished cleaning surface. I'm going to finish cleaning all this stuff up because there's debris down in here now, and I'm not going to let that sit there. It's just crap. It's a lot of grit, so I'm going to have to clean the sink thoroughly now, which is fine. I'd rather do it now while it's on the table instead of sitting on the engine. So I'm not going to go through the porting process like I said, because my ports run really close to my water pockets. I was looking down in here with the flashlight, and I don't have a whole lot of wall. It's just how this cast is. So before you guys go ahead and start hogging away at these ports, to match your gasket, I'd strongly suggest you make sure that you get enough thickness on your walls in there. You run into a water pocket, head's done. You're looking average for a remanufactured head from like Napa or whatever, about $600. So I'm going to finish up the surface. I took most of the gasket material off. I'm going to run a surface stone across it, make sure it's nice and smooth. Do the same to this. Then I'm going to fully clean it, and then over here, this is where your valve stem seal rides, and this is your valve guide. What you want to do, make sure that's all fully cleaned on the inside, and then before you go put your valve stem seal on, make sure there's no oil on these, because if there's oil on these and it gets in the way of the rubber, you do run a chance of a valve stem seal popping, and if it does, then you're just going to do nothing but leak oil down in your valve guide, and it's going to get in your combustion chamber, and then your engine's going to smoke. So like I said before in my other videos, if you're going to do it, make sure you put all new seals on. Now my seals were new. I could reuse them if I really wanted to, but my new kit came with new seals, so I'm just going to say, screw it. I threw the ones that were on here away. I'm going to put the new ones on. Now there are different sizes, so you got to make sure you get your intakes and your exhaust done right, because they are different size stems on the valves. So you got to make sure you put those on properly, otherwise it will leak oil also. Just so you know, my kit. This one is marked intake. This one is marked exhaust. Now some of them, this is the black rubber, these are red. I think there's a temperature difference on the rubber itself to hold up better, because this is going to be an exhaust valve. So that's how that's going to go. So like I said, just make sure you put your valve stem seals back on the proper locations when you go to do it. And then you can go ahead, after you put them on, after it's cleaned and dry, then you can lube up the inside of the your valve guide there, and then lube up your valve itself, put it through, make sure your valve floats freely, then go ahead and put your spring on, then put your retainers on, and then you're done. So, but like I said, just make sure that your valves are clean, there's no debris on them, and make sure that there's no crap left on the valve seat down here. That way you know you got a proper seal on it. And if you're not too sure about it, send it out to a machine shop and have them grind your valves and your valve seats. It doesn't take very long, and it doesn't cost a whole lot. And you can make sure that your valves are done correctly, so that way you don't have to worry about a misfire and yada yada yada. So cleaning, stoning, and reassembly. That's what I'm going to be doing. So next video will be with the cylinder head put on to the block that's over there, and we'll go from there. Thanks, guys.